Welcome to the lost lands of Cantabria, northern Spain. Now behind me is a village of some 25 to 50 people. A village that's dying, just like hundreds if not thousands of villages all around Spain. And in this video, I'm gonna take you on a journey through the mountains and canyons, the peaks of Europe, and show you the Spain that the media doesn't show you. Now these villages are dying so much that the main inhabitants of the villages are basically cows and people over the age of 50. Hey buddy, how's it going? Now I gotta warn you, there's gonna be a lot of Spanish in this video because these people in these villages definitely don't speak English. The history is immense, the people are friendly, and the land's often forgotten because you're only gonna see videos in Sevilla, in Madrid, in Barcelona. But you guys, this is the true Spain right here, the Spain that's untouchable. The Muslims never arrived here, therefore, you're not gonna see any influence. Buen día. ¿Cómo está? Me llamo Elliot. ¿Y tú?
Marcos.
Marcos.
Sí.
¿Este pueblo, cuánta gente hay en este pueblo?
Pocos.
50.
Ahí andará.
Eres el único joven, ¿eh?
No hay más, pero...
Hay más jóvenes.
Sí, pero no muchos, ¿eh?
¿Y estás trabajando ahora mismo?
Sí.
Vale.
Voy a ver las vacas a ver qué hacen en tren.
Vale.
Venga.
Tenga un buen día, ¿vale?
Ya te digo, ya.
All right, we did find a young person. Wow. He said there's some other young people, but here we have someone. Hola.
Hola.
Buen día, ¿cómo está usted?
Muy bien.
Bien, bien.
Bien, ¿y ustedes?
Bien, buscando un restaurante para comer, menú de día. Una pregunta, ¿qué tal vivir aquí en este pueblo?
Hombre, pues bien.
Bien.
Y hombre,
¿Y dónde hace la compra?
pues vienen camiones.
Vienen camiones.
Sí. Todo tranquilo.
¿Cómo se llama usted?
Eva.
Eva.
Bueno, cuando tengas más de espacio, vienes y charlamos un rato.
¿En serio?
Sí, hombre, sí.
¿Ha vivido aquí toda la vida?
Toda la vida. Yo, 67, hijo.
67. Oh, eres jovencita, ¿eh?
Sí, hombre,
Jovencita,
sí.
jovencita.
Eres más joven tú.
Marcho, pero me gustó mucho y nos vemos en otro mundo, ¿vale?
Vale, pues
Hasta
sí,
luego. Hala.
Nada.
Luego. What a sweet little lady there, Eva. Now throughout these villages, you'll see older people. You'll see people in their 80s and their 90s living alone. I've met them before and I've actually faced criticism because one time when I was meeting an old person, here we got a dog here. When I was meeting an old person, I referred to them as tú. Now, of course, old people, mayores, they're to be respected and addressed with usted, as you saw back there. But when you live in Malaga and in Spain in general, it's kind of a lost art using the usted form. So people usually use tú, and in fact, some older folk will actually get offended if you use the tú with them. ¿Usted ha visto mucho cambio?
No me hable usted.
Vale. Tú has visto muchos cambios en el crecimiento del turismo, ¿no? Tras los décadas.
Yo no he visto tantos turistas en mi vida. Antes no había 8 o 10, 15 o 20. Pero esto ahora...
Now in Latin America, it's a whole different story. You use usted for almost anyone. A new person you meet, your parents, an older person, etc. But here in this lost land, you can use either or, especially if you know them. Wow, this is a cool little village. It's actually bigger than I thought. Now, what do the people live off of here? They live off of livestock, cheese, meat. They sell the cows. They're self-sufficient, meaning they grow their own crops. Tourism doesn't even get to these parts. So yeah, a whole nother world. From the lands of Sevilla and Madrid, Granada, the Costa del Sol, where all the northern people... Hola, buen día. ¿Cómo anda? ¿Bien? Bien, bien. Where all the people go to the beaches and live and stay in all-inclusive resorts, which is actually quite a shame because, as you can see, there's a lot to be seen here. Now, what am I doing? I'm doing what's called the Camino de Santiago, Le Bagne. It's a variant of the Camino, one of many actually. There's not just the French one or the northern one or the primitive one. There's many. And this one is en route to the relic of the Saint Toribio. Now, the Saint Toribio, he brought a piece of the cross from Jerusalem, from Christ himself. And they said they have that cross there in the monastery, which is around 50 kilometers from here. So that's where I'm going. This is absolutely astounding. Hola, mi niño. ¿Hay un colegio aquí?
Aquí no hay.
Aquí no hay.
Hay albergue.
¿Hay albergue? Vale, voy a echar un ojo. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Sonia.
Sonia, una mujer del pueblo.
Sí, no.
La
sí.
única que queda.
Soy de capital, ¿eh? Lo que
Capital.
pasa es que vengo de vacaciones. Y aquí venimos
Bueno.
a desconectar de la ciudad. Pues criarme aquí, jugar como estos críos. subir a las montañas, ir con los animales,
Orinar las vacas,
también las cabras, todo,
comer muy rico.
comer cocidos, ir a las fiestas.
Los guiris no conocen este lugar, yo te digo.
Ah, pues mándalos para acá.
Ah, vale. Ciao, ciao. The people from this village, I don't even know the name, very friendly. Man, I'm just shattered. Yesterday I walked 30 kilometers and I stayed in an old little rickety hotel, and they actually kind of got me on the price there. It was 60 euros. It wasn't worth 60 euros, but whatever. Hiking out here can have its challenges because camping is actually illegal. Otherwise I would just camp anywhere. On the other hand, who's gonna find out that you're camping? And so you gotta stay sometimes in places that might cost a little more or go way off the path to find something. But man, we are really out here. Woo! Man, just started raining. The weather can just change in an instant. Wow. It's all part of the adventure though, it's fun. But if you do come hiking in northern Spain, you gotta be ready for this. This ain't Malaga. Now as we go up here, we're gonna be getting closer to what's called the peaks of Europe. Snow-capped, rigid, and astounding mountain peaks. They kind of resemble the Tetons, the Great Teton. Of course, much lower, but they're an underlooked mountain region in Spain. Spain's, of course, got the Teide volcano, which is the highest point in the Canary Islands. I've been there before. It has Almocen and Granada, where you can ski and swim in the same day if you so desire. But these mountain ranges in the north are vast, rugged, isolated, incredible. And it makes the people much more interesting because for centuries they were isolated. Maybe this village never came in contact with the village on the other side of the mountains. And so what that does throughout Spain, one of the most mountainous countries in all of Europe, is it makes the people distinct. And so it's a country full of regional dialects, nuances. The people in Basque Country, which is not far away, are different than the people in Cantabria. Cantabria is part of the old Castile. And then the people in Cantabria are different than the Asturians and the Galicians. They have their own language, which is more closely related to Portuguese. And throughout my journey on YouTube, I've tried to show you guys that. But when I first started this channel, I was just a young traveler, a young American getting to know Spain. And I didn't really know the history that well. But since then, I've studied, I've learned more, and I've learned, most importantly, by immersing myself all throughout Spain. Hola, buen día.
Hola, ¿qué vas a mojar?
Sí, yo tengo mi chaqueta.
Ya,
Estás partiendo madera, leña.
pero no hace frío. Para atizar, para cuando empiezas a hacer el fuego, tienes que tener
timber.
leña
Sí.
finito. No, aquí no hay nadie, si es que no, los pueblos no queda gente. Los viejos se mueren, por lo natural. Y los jóvenes se van a ganar la vida de aquí a Santander, a Bilbao, por ahí abajo. Y entonces, de mi generación, quedamos aquí 9 personas nada más. Mujeres no hay nada más que yo en este pueblo.
Eres la única mujer.
La única mujer que hay.
Madre mía.
Se quedan los pueblos vacíos de todo. Se quedan
¿Lo ves
vacíos.
muy triste o es la realidad y ya se acostumbra?
A ver, te acostumbras, pero es muy triste porque no tienes con quién estar un rato ni...
Sí, y tus recuerdos se han ido a la tumba, o sea, la gente cercana de ti se ha muerto y...
se han muerto, sí. Los mayores, pues normal, ahora es una rueda, ahora iremos nosotros, los próximos, ¿me entiendes?
Sí.
Es una rueda y después pues aquí no queda nadie, la gente se marcha, porque además mira aquí con el ganado, que es los que se quedan aquí con ganado, y se queda una persona sola y no se defiende. Yo tengo aquí un hijo que tiene ganado y tiene, pero está solo. Y ya se lo digo yo, digo, véndilo, que ahora todavía eres joven y te puedes ir a ganar la vida. Dentro de unos años aquí no queda nadie. No tienes a quien echar mano para que te quede un animal o te ayude algo.
¿Cómo se llama usted?
Fermina.
Fermina.
Sí.
¿Prefieres tú o usted?
No, no es igual a mí.
Vale.
Aquí es que además es un trabajo muy duro. Muy duro y poca utilidad, ¿me entiendes lo que te quiero decir?
Sí.
Que no te da para para decir, oye, pues sí, trabajo y trabajo duro.
¿Y el gobierno te ha ayudado en de alguna forma?
Bueno, sí, hombre, si no nos ayudaran, no vivíamos. Conforme está la vida, no vives porque es imposible.
Sí.
Pero yo nací y aquí estoy,
Ujú.
en esta casa, donde nacieron mis abuelos, mis padres y es lo
Bueno,
que hay.
Gracias por hablar conmigo,
Bueno,
¿vale?
pues, igualmente.
Buen camino.
A mí también me
Te-
quitas un rato.
Te alegra el día un poquillo,
Ya,
¿no?
Eso. A seguir bien, ¿eh?
Ala.
Hala.
Wow. You really feel for her. People do get lonely even though they live in villages, and some people like to live in villages for that reason. But humans are humans. And we need contact. Wow. I had no idea I would be doing this 3-4 years ago. In fact, in college, I took a class on the geography of Spain, and my professor told us about this pilgrimage. He said, yes, people hike, people walk, people bike to Santiago. And I said, what, 1 day, 2 days? And he said, no, 30 days. I shit my pants. Here I am. This is like my 4th or 5th Camino. And here we have some fresh water from the village trickling down from the mountains. Let's see how it tastes. Fresh mountain water, nothing better. Refrescos, refreshments. The only piece of modern technology in the whole village. And of course, it's not working. Guys, can't believe this is Western Europe. This is like medieval times. Like, seriously. People here live such a different lifestyle. On one hand, it makes the people authentic, but on the other hand, it's quite shocking. But you can never film a video like this in Madrid. We can see the first views of the peaks of Europe, snow-capped just barely, but as we traverse the mountains here, we're gonna see more astounding peaks and snow. Well, we've gotten to another village called Cicera. Let's see if they've got a bite to eat down here. But as you can see, the town hall, the town council has came together throughout these villages to make these places accessible for the pilgrims. These villages sort of started to empty when Spain industrialized and focused on Madrid. People went to Bilbao, they went to Santander, they went to Madrid, of course. While it's very sad that these villages have lost their essence, there at least is an attempt to revitalize them with things like the Camino de Santiago, which does attract, for the most part, responsible tourists who are interested in culture and history and, of course, hiking. I do have to say that this Camino is much more desolate. There's almost no restaurants. I've been searching all day long, but yeah, there's nothing. There's no restaurants. My God, it's like living in another century. Ciao, hasta luego. Oh, ya me voy. It's absolutely astounding to think about the magnitude of these paths here. It's like being in a video game or a movie or a historic novel. And of course, many novels and stories and movies were inspired by these religious pilgrimages where hundreds of thousands of people once walked, many of them probably dying here of starvation, injuries, traversing these lands, all in the name of religion and spirituality. And to be doing it alone, centuries later, something to me that's just so mind-blowing. And you're reminded of all that by the breathtaking landscapes that you go through, and there's no better way to do it than alone.
This is where I had one of the scarier moments in my life. This part of Spain is so desolate. I hadn't found any restaurants or stores since the previous day, which means I was completely fasted for over 18 hours. Combine the fact with it being low season, and I didn't see a soul for over 8 hours whilst hiking. Unbeknownst to me, I had a 4-kilometer section with an ascent of almost 800 meters in a fasted state. This was an almost vertical trail. Fortunately, I've been practicing fasting for several years so my body could handle these extreme circumstances, but I wouldn't recommend this to anyone. There were several moments where I almost fainted, and I thought I would just spend the night there on the mountainside, completely alone and isolated, to preserve the little energy I had left. About 2/3 of the way up the mountain, without knowing how much more I had to walk, I found the first flat spot to lay down. It was in that moment that I watched the clouds drift and the treetops sway with a faint chilling breeze. Completely exhausted, I listened to each pulse and breath, and while I was in extreme discomfort, it was one of the most peaceful moments of my life. If I were to die right there, I would have been happy. In that moment, everything froze, and I felt a sense of enlightenment for what felt like forever. I was reminded that I love to be out in nature, exploring the unknown and testing my limit. That's why I think these adventures are so important, as we learn just how strong we can be in tough moments in such an artificial world.
You guys, that was just like a 1,000-meter ascent. Oh, I was destroyed. It took me so long, and I'm still in a fasted state. Literally zero glucose left in me. I don't know if the camera does it justice, but what a day. I am absolutely shattered. There's actually a few times where I thought I was gonna collapse. You say, well, why didn't you buy food? Well, there hasn't been any stores for 2 days. We have a shepherd. Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Cómo está? ¿Bien? ¿Hasta dónde sube?
¿Ahora?
Sí,
No, aquí al...
solo aquí a comer y beber.
Sí.
Vale. ¿Y Le Bañés queda cerca?
¿Cabañes?
Sí,
Es el pueblo que se ve allí enfrente.
vale.
Venga arriba.
Vale, hasta luego. Just a shepherd and his dog.
Tenía ovejas, tenía cabras, tenía vacas.
Tú has caminado mínimo 10 millones de kilómetros en tu vida.
Joder, joder.
Vivo en Madrid.
En Madrid.
Sí.
What a difference. Madrid. She lives in Madrid. This guy's from here. As you can tell, he's a real mountain man. So we're heading down to this village where I have a taxi waiting for me. I'm lucky enough that the taxi is going to bring me to a private shelter where I can sleep and spend the night. We found some nice people here and beautiful mountain scenery, and there happens to be...
The very young people is coming.
There's young people. Hay jóvenes. Oh my gosh.
Hello. Hello.
Wow. They even love Santa Claus up here in these parts. Yo podría acampar y nadie me haría caso y...
No, los lobos y los osos.
Oh. So we've arrived to the village of Lebeña.
Ah, muy bien. Buena. Good pronunciation.
Yeah. Y usted vive aquí, ¿no? Esto es tu pueblo.
Sí, este es el pueblo, sí. Yo nací aquí y aquí moriré, no sé. Pero esto es una tranquilidad. Aquí puedes dejar una puerta abierta que no te roba nadie. De no ser gente de fuera.
Sí.
Y nos llevamos todos bien, que es lo que hace falta.
Yo soy de un pueblo también en Wisconsin. Wisconsin, Estados Unidos. Un pueblo. No cerramos las puertas tampoco.
Pero será un pueblo grande, ¿no?
Esto.
Aquí se llaman aldeas.
Aldeas.
Eso.
Pues nada.
Buenas, señor. Gracias.
Muchísimas gracias de habernos encontrado aquí con gente así.
Ajá. ¿Y usted qué quiere que el mundo recuerda de usted?
Bueno, si tuviera que empezar
¿Y tu
otra
pueblo?
vez a trabajar, digo, coño, ya lo pensaría porque yo trabajé mucho. Hasta luego y que le vaya bien.
¡Hala!
Venga, ¿quieres llevar palo?
No, señor. Wow.
Vale.
Take it, it's yours. He wanted to offer me his walking stick. What a nice person. What authentic
Chico
people.
también es muy majo. Le conocemos de vista.
Whoa, he's a tire man. He's a tire king.
It's my brother.
It's
He's
your
my
brother.
Yeah.
Wow. The people live very long in Spain because they are like this guy.
Yeah.
They walk a lot. They are happy with
Eat. And
they eat healthy.
Food. It's very healthy. Yeah. Hola,
Yeah.
César. No trabajes mucho.
No, vamos a recoger ya.
Bueno.
She said, don't work too much. He's still working. The Spain the media doesn't show. Wow. Let me know in the comments, did you guys know that this exists in Spain? Places like this, forgotten villages, mythical places, lost churches, mountainsides that are just isolated, people that are distinct. Nothing like the tourist places we visit down in Sevilla and Madrid and Barcelona, Malaga, etc. And quite honestly, these are among my favorite places. So I'll see you on the next video from the lost lands of Cantabria. Good night, everybody. All right, guys. Well, this is my first food in 24 hours, and I just walked over 30 kilometers fasted. Thank God I've been practicing fasting for years, because I don't know who could have done that if you haven't practiced fasting. But let's give my first bite of food a go after 30-kilometer hike. Morcilla. The plates here are very dense. I like it. Chorizo. Wow. I'm gonna enjoy this. So good. I'll see you guys tomorrow.